One of 8 children born into a struggling family in Ohio, her parents supported her acting, singing and ballet training, even relocating the family to New York to give her more opportunities. By the age of 8, she earned her first paycheck. By 11, she joined the touring company of The Sound of Music, which was followed by the lead role of Annie on Broadway. As a teenager, she broke into TV on the sitcom Square Pegs, but quickly progressed to bigger roles in movies, most famously 80s iconic films Footloose and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. More substantial roles on stage and screen followed. But the part that really made her big, no pun intended, was the role of New York sex columnist Carrie Bradshaw on the sharp-talking, quick-witted and groundbreaking TV series Sex and the City.
The character's name is Carrie Bradshaw, and she lives in New York City very happily. And she is a writer. She has a weekly column for a newspaper, and the column really is about sexual politics, gender politics, and the intimate way that women share their stories and their lives with one another.
Throughout her career, she's worked with many great actors and directors. So according to her co-stars, why has she been so successful?
Sarah Jessica is, of course, a spectacular-looking woman, but she's so kind and decent. And that really shines through with her.
It's a level of presence that Sarah Jessica has. So what she, not so much perfected, because she probably always had it, is a talent of listening and reacting and being in the moment. It's not about, this is how this scene has to go. It's what happens in the room, 2 people talking about whatever it is. What happens right there that day? And that, she brings that to the screen all the time.
In 1998, Sex and the City creator Darren Star was determined to cast Sarah Jessica in the lead role. She was initially worried about starring in a long-term TV series rather than focusing on movies. So what was it about the part of Carrie that won her over?
I just loved her. You know, I love her, and I think she's interesting and smart and stupid and funny and a wreck and reliable and flaky, and you know, she's got a lot of really admirable qualities, and she's got a lot of qualities that she probably wishes she didn't possess. And you know, she lives in this exciting city and has great friends, and to be able to work with other actresses who also loved being part of it, it was just you know, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and a once-in-a-lifetime character, honestly. And I don't know how she ended up in my lap, but I feel so lucky.
While most of us can't afford to lunch every day wearing $1,000 shoes, the show's themes of sex, love and friendship connected with everyone. So why does Sarah Jessica think the series is so successful?
Well, I think that the general content of the conversation, and I know you don't want to hear it, but the writing is quite superior in my opinion. But we as the actors are saying these things for the first time in our lives. This is not the sorts of conversations we normally have. And as a result, I think it's very real and it's very fresh to us coming out of our mouths. And we enjoy playing people who are so completely different from the lives we lead as women. And so I think perhaps, hopefully, that is somehow resonant.
Wanting to become more involved and have more control in the creative process, she became a producer on Sex and the City in its 3rd season.
Well, I never look at my performance as a producer, as an actor, as anything. I don't look at pictures of myself. I really don't. And I don't think it's necessarily necessary as a producer for me to watch dailies. But I'm involved in rough cuts, and it's important to Michael Patrick that I watch them, as painful as it is for me. But really, my producing responsibilities were really getting this movie made. They weren't in the dailies. They were about the perfunctory details of producing that really rested on mine and Michael Patrick's shoulders and John Melfi's. And that was much more challenging than, you know, the performance stuff is a different area and it's a different domain entirely.
While watching Sex and the City, it's so easy for us girls to get carried away with the incredible fashion, the bags, the shoes, the outfits. It's a shopaholic's heaven. But really, the show is about so much more.
There's fashion, but I really don't think that's what people are ultimate. I don't think you can hang your hat on fashion for 7 years of a television show. I think it really ultimately is about the relationships and the emotional journey these women take. And the fashion is delightful and fun for us too. But really, I think ultimately it's the words that really can hook an audience or not.
We wanted more, and we were given it with Sex and the City the movie. The film reconnects with Carrie, Samantha, Miranda and Charlotte 4 years after the finale of the TV series. So how much does Sarah think the characters have changed?
I think she's very recognizable to the person that, was left 4 years ago in New York City. And but I think she's just simply matured. She's still outrageous somewhat in her thinking, and she's still a wonderfully flawed person, but she's a much more mature person. I think she's very, she's in this very wonderful, successful romantic relationship. She's working on her 4th book, so she's professionally, really applied herself and has had obviously success there. And she's still in these very meaningful relationships with these women, but they're different. And I think their lives are more about pursuing meaning and less about perhaps the superficial that you can indulge in when you're younger.
Whether you love him for his suave charm or hate him for his commitment phobia, the on-again, off-again love affair between Carrie and Mr. Big is central to the series. So what was it like for actor Chris Noth to work with Sarah Jessica?
For me, with Sarah, it's always felt like Sarah Jessica. It's always felt like an improv in a sense, even though it's carefully scripted. I love our scenes together because it always feels improvisational to me. It always feels in the moment, and it always feels like anything could happen.
With a reputation in the acting industry as a smart and independent spirit, she's very proud to be part of such a female-driven movie.
Women can play in the big boys game, and I think that's, once again, all due to writing and the kind of stories that Michael Patrick and his writing staff told for so long. And it's just thrilling that there's a place for women in film, and I'm very pleased to be part of that in any way.
Her role in Sex and the City not only made her one of the world's most popular stars, but also an influential fashion icon, with Manolo Blahnik even naming a shoe after her. What an honour! She's been the face of many brands like Garnier and Gap, and went on to create her own perfumes and a fashion line called Bitten. Just like Carrie, she loves the chance to dress up for the red carpet events.
As a mother, that kind of is the peripheral, any ideas about anybody's expectations. But on nights like these, it's awfully nice to be able to wear a beautiful dress and meet extraordinary designers like McQueen and Philip Tracy. And so there's really such delight in it and such indulgence. But in a day-to-day mother way, it just somehow isn't part of my life.
The mega success of Sex and the City opened more doors, her profile giving her the power to pick and choose the projects she wanted to work on, like State and Maine.
It's a wonderful part, and it's just great people working on it. I don't know who would say no to the opportunity. It's unfathomable to me that anybody would turn it down.
Not wanting to be typecast, she likes to take on diverse and challenging roles, not only in Hollywood mainstream films, but also in small-budget indie films like in 2008's Smart People.
I was asked to please read the script quickly because the decision had to be made very quickly, and I just loved it. I thought it was, a great script, beautiful, and not just because a lot of scripts aren't great. I wasn't qualifying it like that. It was on its own a really, beautifully written script. And by the time I was, asked to be part of the project, everybody had been cast. People were basically in Pittsburgh almost shooting. So it was, the whole package was very, ideal.
Co-star Dennis Quaid really respected and enjoyed filming with Sarah Jessica.
She came to this, at the very end and stepped into it, and she's just, I love looking at her every day. She's playing a character very kind of unlike characters that she's played before. She's she's a doctor in this, but at the same time, she's really kind of closed off emotionally too, but not so much as my character. These two people who really don't have any kind of clue
Denying rumours of friction between her and Sex and the City co-star Kim Cattrall, Sarah Jessica believes it's very important to work with a cast she likes.
When you get to be my age, I'm being serious, it's about the experience because it's time away from family and friends, and the experience counts for everything because after you make a movie, it's out of your hands. So the time you spend with the cast and the crew and the director, that's what counts most. And in this case, it was worth every second.
So what about the not-so-private life of Sarah Jessica Parker? She's dated well-known men like Robert Downey Jr. and John Kennedy Jr., but met her future husband Matthew Broderick while starring together on Broadway. They now live in New York with their son James and twin daughters Marion and Tabitha. Like many women, she finds being a working mum a hard juggling act.
I'm constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically. I'm like any working mother that, tries to juggle and do everything well and make your child your priority, and everything else, if it can fit into that, you just do the best you can. Like every working person in this country that has to figure it out. It's no different. And in fact, probably in my case, I have some help that maybe a lot of working women don't have.
The Thinking Girls actress Sarah Jessica Parker has proven that hard work and following your dreams from an early age really can pay off and buy you a whole lot of great shoes in the process. So stay tuned to Star Picks for more of the movies you know and the actors you love, broadcast in glorious high definition with 5.1 surround sound where available. For more of the best in entertainment news, check out your Movie Network channels. It's altogether better, on screen and at mnc.tv.